people, it's Tracy Reed here today, coming at you with a 9x12 process video, and this is a selfie that I took of myself and it is going next to the layout that I shared a few weeks ago now. Actually two layouts. One is the book layout that I shared. It's a 3x3 pocket page craziness. And then also there's an insert in there that's a 6x8 talking about self-care. So this is, I'm using the same PinkFreshStudio line that I used for the book page, and I am going to do a little bit more on self-care since it's going right next to it. And so I'm going to use this Cocoa Daisy card right here that says love you. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm creating some triangles, some triangle corners basically of white to build this layout around. I love this floral a lot, but it was also a lot. So I wanted to kind of break it up a little bit. And instead of trying to get my angles right, cutting that paper down and mounting it on a 12 by 9 piece of cardstock, I decided instead to just cut down this cardstock that I had that was 6x12 and put it just over the top of the paper. And actually it worked out pretty well because it gave me a nice little ridge right there to build my layout around. And I adore the way that this layout came out. It's one of my favorite layouts recently, but I struggled initially with placement on it. And you can see the moment when the placement kicks in, it's super fun. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to layer things here. I know I want to use this pink pom-pom trim from the Cocoa Daisy Simon and Betty kit because I haven't used it yet, and it matches so well. This Love You card matches that PinkFreshStudio so well. This pink card is also from the Simon and Betty kit. I'm basically using a lot of the Simon and Betty stuff with this paper. It just matches really well. So I want to pull in some black and white, and I actually really liked that peacock too, but I end up using the back side of that because it is black and white on the back. This, you can actually see the pattern right there, and I end up liking that better. And then I also pulled in some, this is just a bunch of scraps that I had sitting on my desk, just waiting to be used. I had found them in a box, and I didn't want to like put them into my stash, so I'm just keeping them on my desk for a few layouts to see if I can use them up. So that blue vellum is actually from a Cocoa Daisy, I think July or June of last year, the ocean one. So it has a lot of oceany words on it, but it matches perfectly. And so I end up using it, even though it doesn't really fit the theme, but I cover it up enough that you can't tell that it doesn't fit the theme. And this is the moment when the way I was going to lay out this layout came to me. So I love this offset vibe of the way I'm going to, like the way that I'm setting these papers up, following that diagonal line of the triangles. And that photo works really well diagonally too. So it was just absolutely perfect. But I need to make sure I don't cover up too much of the paper that I want to highlight in the background. So I'm trying to see what to do here and figure it out so that I've got enough of this extra pattern showing but not covering up too much of that floral. So even though I know how I want it laid out, I'm still struggling just a little bit to make it perfect. And I keep trying to incorporate that gray-black sort of paper strip there, but I don't end up using it. The pattern it was just too masculine. There we go. So now I'm going to overlap some of the white a little bit, and I think that starts working out a little bit better. I want to make sure I have that yellow peeking out on that pink because there's yellow in the background paper that I want to make sure gets pulled out. There we go, that's better. You saw my hands go, oh, that's it, right there, found it. Which I find funny. I go, ah! So I'm going to start putting my papers down. Making sure everything goes exactly where I want it to. Lots of pulling this paper back up because that's how I roll. Lots of pulling the photo up. So that says love you, which of course, in a Valentine's Day collection, was supposed to be meant like an I love you, but I decided I had a lot of lovey-dovey layouts going on with this February stuff, so let's talk about loving yourself. Initially was thinking maybe I wanted it to say that, you know, that Justin Bieber song, You Should Go and Love Yourself, which I know was meant not nicely in that song, but I love those lyrics. But I didn't want to like incorporate an R into that you, so it said yourself. I thought it would look awkward, so I wanted to change what I was thinking, like the title instead. So I end up going with love you first. So I'm going to pull out some gold letter stickers, just that I had in my stash. I don't even know what they're from. And I'm going to put first on that diagonal. You can see once I start adding to the diagonal layout of the way that I'm setting things up, it really starts coming together quickly. I have this tiny attacher that a lovely subscriber sent to me. Thank you so much. She's so sweet. And I don't know how I lived without this for so long. But look at how wonderful that works. I'm going to add the pom-pom trim here, which adds a little bit of whimsy to this layout. And I'm just stapling it right to the photo instead of trying to staple all the way through the layout. And I'm going to add in some red line tape just in the middle to make sure it doesn't sag or move around too much. I could have used red line tape the whole way across, but I like the way that the staples looked. There we go. So now I have a bunch of Pink Fresh stuff that I'm going to pull in. These are from the Follow Your Heart collection, which is perfect for a layout like this. And then of course I had a bunch of like blocky titles, which I thought worked really well with this layout as well. So I'm going to pull in some of this plant stuff and some of these blocky titles, and luckily these plants have gold on them, so I've got some more gold going on with the title. Love this little hummingbird. I'm going to incorporate her too. Just trying to see where I want everything to go. You can see how following the diagonal with these word bits really helps cement the vibe of the layout and the lines going on here. See what else I have in this. These are the Follow Your Heart stickers. I was trying to see if I had any sort of like, there's a bunch of circles on this page. So I was going to see if I could incorporate in some circles, because I had a lot of lines going on here. But I instead add some more lines in with some word strips. Trying to break the grid a little bit of the, just break the boundaries of that cluster that I have going on so that it's not too blocky. I'm going to incorporate some of these puffy stickers in, just these little flowery things. They're a little bit of a different style, but I kind of like them anyway. They're kind of cute and whimsical. And with that pom-pom trim, it's so whimsical already. I thought it worked out well. And then I need somewhere to write, and I also need to cover up some of that teal-y paper there because, you know, I have all of those ocean-y words and those aren't going to work for me on this layout. So I'm going to open up a packet of journaling bits from PinkFresh, not this one, this one. And I'm going to pull out this tag and then another journaling spot, and I end up using the journaling spot and not the tag. And it says perfect on it, but if I have the perfect sticking out, it doesn't really give me enough room to write. So I'm going to end up making it like, I'm just going to put it upside down so that the perfect goes underneath the photo and it gives me a nice little block to write on instead. And it covers up enough of that tealy vellum paper that you can't really tell that it says anything about the ocean anymore, which is exactly what I needed. Then the only thing that this layout needs now, besides my actual journaling, is some Heidi Shine. So I'm going to get out some gold Heidi Swap Color Shine, and I'm going to use it in the corners of like where the white is. So I'm going to get out something to cover up this middle part because I am a mess with Heidi Shine. But then that is it. I'm going to do this, add in some journaling, and call it good. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. And if you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. My handle is @TracyMReed, and I would love to be besties over there. All right. Thank you.